You know that feeling when you turn up to the charts in the morning and you spend all day doing your analysis, being disciplined and patient on the charts, and then you wait for your setup and the trade prints and it's a win. You end up taking some profit from the charts and you feel super happy. And then you close the charts, head on social media or into a Discord group and you see that someone's taken a position and they made 10 times the amount you made. Maybe you took $200 on a trade and you see someone hitting TP for 2,000, 5,000, 20,000. And you think to yourself, I'm not doing enough. This is not going quick enough. Let me get back on the charts. Let me go ahead and actually see if I can find another position. So you load up TradingView, you load up your broker, you come back to the charts and you force a position. You end up forcing that position and that ends up hitting stop loss. And now you're back even further away than when you started. Well, brother, I know that feeling too. And in this conversation me and you are about to have, we're going to fix that because, to be honest with you, your comparison of yourself to other traders is costing you serious money in the market. But look, the time currently is 2 a.m. in the morning, and I was on my balcony thinking about trading and how far it's taken me. Now, I just had my most profitable month ever, $31,000 in the market. All taken this month, payout certificates, everything proven. And the reason I'm telling you that is because I used to have the exact same feeling that you did. I used to have the exact same feeling of taking trades, taking wins and doing the right thing in the market and then loading up social media, and I'd be scrolling and I'd see someone hitting TP for a crazy number, way more than I was making at the time. And it would just break my heart. It would break my heart, and my level of competitiveness, ego, and I guess ambition would force me back into a cycle of getting back on the charts, trying to make more money because I felt like I was behind. And I would go ahead and take more trades, end up losing, and then you blow accounts, right? That's how it starts every single time. And realistically, throughout this conversation that me and you are going to have tonight, I'm going to talk to you about why that's not a good idea, how I got over it, and how you can stop comparing yourself to others, and how that's going to make you a profitable trader and make you a less stressed trader, a trader who's able to be content with their wins and actually make more progress. Now, in order to do that, let me tell you a story about myself. And it's a story exactly like this. Now, there's been many stages in my career where I've been right on the edge of profitability, right on the edge of breaking through and actually getting to the position where I wanted to be. Now, 3 years ago, I was working in a 9-to-5 in a law firm. I was working 80 hours a week for minimum wage. $1,000 every 2 weeks is what I got paid. And I would be trading a live account or a funded account or whatever it may be, and hitting $500 on a position and then going onto social media and seeing people hit $5,000. For some reason, I thought it wasn't enough. And exactly like I just told you, what would happen was very simply, I would end up blowing accounts and setting myself even further back. And this is the trap that so many traders fall into, and I guarantee if you're watching this video, it's something that you're falling into too. And brother, I'm going to be honest with you, it's costing you money. It's costing you freedom, it's costing you your dreams, it's costing you exactly where you want to be. Because comparison as a trader is the one thing that kills you more quicker than anything else. It kills you quicker than anything else because trading is a non-linear game. And what I mean by that is when you see people, when you see me, when you see any other influencer, any other trader taking a position or taking payouts for $30,000 a month or whatever it may be, and you compare that to yourself, what you're essentially doing is you're comparing your day one to my day 5,000, your chapter one to the end of my book. Now, how do you think that's going to be sustainable? Because I guarantee where you are right now, if you haven't reached your dreams as a trader, you're not profitable, or maybe you are profitable but not to the level that you want to be, is where every single trader, including myself, once was. And so instead of comparing yourself to where I am now, if you were going to compare to anything, it should be me 2 years ago, before I became profitable, before I broke out on social media, before I did any of these things. But in reality, the better thing to do is just not to compare yourself at all. Because realistically, the only thing comparing yourself to other people is ever going to do is hinder your progress. It's a lose-lose. Let me explain to you why that is. There's two situations that can occur when you compare yourself to other traders. Step number one, or situation number one, is very simple. It's just what I described. You are making some progress. You see someone online doing something better than you. You get fearful that you're not doing enough. You get anxious that you're not good enough, or you're not as good as these other people, or as good as me. And what does that result in? It results in you putting time pressure on yourself, which if you've watched any of these conversations that we've had before, you will know is not a good thing. It puts emotional pressure on you because now you're doubting yourself. Now you're thinking you're not a good trader, or you're not where you need to be. And that translates immediately into your trading with stuff like revenge trading, over trading, FOMOing into positions you know you shouldn't. And as we know, those three things that I've just described, they only end one way. They end in blown accounts, unprofitable trading, and inevitably quitting trading because you think you can't make it, or you think you're not good enough. And the other scenario is potentially equally as bad. Maybe you actually are profitable. Maybe you're in a situation where actually now you are making some good money. And you jump online and maybe you're making more money than other people. Maybe you're in a Discord server or something like that. And what happens is you see yourself making profitable trades. You've got an 80% win rate. You're getting payouts. Maybe you're making $500 a week or $1,000 a month, whatever it may be. And other people aren't funded yet and aren't profitable. And you think, oh, okay, I'm better than them. I'm doing enough. And then you get complacent, you stop adjusting your strategy, you stop adjusting your edge to the market, and you fall behind. You don't adapt your edge, which means your trades don't play out as much, your win rate drops, you stop getting those funded account payouts, and guess what? Now you're back to square one again. And now you're in the situation that the guy number one is, where now you're comparing yourself to others who are making more than you. You think, I was there before, why am I not there again? And it kills your trading. So you can see right there how situation number one and situation number two of you comparing yourself to others both end in a negative result. They both end in you not being able to trade or you not being profitable. So I could end the video right there, because that's enough for me to tell you that you don't need to be comparing yourself to others. But I'm not going to do that, because I haven't told you how to stop doing it. Before I tell you how to stop comparing yourself to others and how to stop yourself from falling into this cycle that 99% of traders keep falling into, let's just go a little bit deeper into what happens if you actually compare yourself. Because unfortunately, trading is one of these things that is extremely individual. Alright, it's one of these things where you will make the most progress when you become confident in your own abilities, when you become confident as a trader, when you're able to make decisions by yourself. And I'll give you an example of this. Let's say you go onto the markets, onto the charts one day, and you see a good buy setup, maybe on NQ or on gold. You see a good buy setup, and you take a screenshot, you send it into a Discord. And someone goes, bro, what are you on about? There's an FVG at the high, or there's an SMT, or whatever it may be. Someone trading a different strategy to you, and they convince you out of taking that position. What happens next? That position runs to your TP. You get FOMO, you jump in, the move's already been made, and you end up hitting stop loss, and then you revenge trade to get back to where you were, and the cycle repeats. Or alternatively, you jump into the Discord, someone's telling you that, oh, I'm looking at buys right now, they look incredible. They convince you to take the position, you take it, you lose the trade because you don't know how to manage it. It's not your position. You've taken it off the word of someone else. Now, this is not necessarily comparing yourself to others. I would argue this is more comparing your strategy or comparing your trades mechanically to others. But either way, this works out with the exact same situation. And realistically, you're never going to be able to rely on anyone else anyway. You're never going to be able to rely on me giving you signals forever. I know I stream my trades live every single day, but what if I stopped? What if I made my $5 million from the market and decided, all right, I'm done. But you haven't become profitable yet. You've just been relying on me. What happens then? You're back to square one, right? So even comparing yourself in terms of strategy is going to cost you severely. But let's just jump back into the cost of comparison. And this is something I like to talk about a lot, the cost of comparison. What is it actually costing you when you compare yourself to others? Because I guarantee it is costing you. What it is ending up costing you is your emotional well-being, your profits, the pressure you put on yourself, and inevitably time, okay? Time, because you're going to be caught in a cycle. You're going to be caught in that cycle of comparing exactly where you are to comparing someone's day 20 to your day 1. And inevitably, like I said, it just relates back to you ending up blowing accounts, FOMOing, whatever it may be. It's costing you your emotional well-being because I promise you there's nothing more stressful than seeing people do better than you and you thinking you're behind. Now, don't get me wrong, I've done it before. It happens to me again every now and then, where I'll see people making 100K a month and I'm only making 30, 40, and I'm not doing good enough. But what happens then is, which most people don't realize, is a lot of people would think, oh, this is going to be motivation. This is going to help me work harder. I'm going to get annoyed and pissed off because this guy's making this and this. Nah, that's inspiration. Comparison is different to inspiration. Now, it's all well and good you looking at me making this amount and going, wow, SG's done 40K this month, 30K this month. Now I know it's possible. That's great. And if I inspire you, which I hope I do, and many people say that I do, then that's really good. But there's a difference between inspiration and comparison. Inspiration would be, like I said, it's possible. Sam's done it. I know that I can do it. Comparison would be, why am I not as good as Sam? What am I doing differently to Sam that is resulting in me not making as much money? Why can't I do this? And that brings you back into a negative feedback loop, into a situation where you're struggling because that wording in your head, why am I not good enough? Why can't I do this? You're essentially convincing yourself deep down in your brain that you are not going to be able to do this, that I'm better than you, or that you're not good enough. And as we've spoken about before, you know for a fact that the words in your mind, if you've watched any of my videos before, I've told you over and over and over, the words in your mind become reality extremely fast. If you tell yourself you're not good enough, if you tell yourself you're not disciplined, if you tell yourself it's not possible, then that will come true. You will be emotional. You won't be disciplined if you tell yourself you're not disciplined. And you will not be good enough if you tell yourself over and over you're not as good as someone else. So, taking trading completely aside, there will become a negative feedback loop in your head if you start to think emotionally and compare yourself to others. This is the one thing that happens in trading as well as outside of trading. Normally I'm telling you that unlike everything else, trading is this, but actually this applies to everything in life. You can take this knowledge that I'm dropping on you and apply that to the rest of your life, right? For example, I walk into the gym. Maybe I look good. I'm pretty happy with my physique. But there's a guy in there who's got 20 kilograms more on his bench press, and he's got 3% less body fat, and he's got 10 pounds more muscle. if I walked in there and said, why don't I have this? I'm not good enough. I'm never going to be able to build this. My brain's just going to say, all right, yeah, you're never going to be able to do it. So why put any effort in towards it? Why would you even try if you know you're not going to be able to do it? Because you're not as good as that guy. Because you just said you're not. And your brain can't tell the difference between what you're saying, whether it's true or whether it's something you've made up in your head. But what you don't know is that potentially that guy's been training for 5 years longer, or maybe he's on steroids. And that brings me on to the next point. Maybe the guys on social media that you see, or the guys in Discords that you see, maybe they're lying. Maybe they're not making 100K a month. Maybe they're not making 50K. Maybe I'm not. Who knows? So why does it do you any justice to compare to someone that you don't even know they're doing that? Now it becomes different with someone like me who's taken every trade live and shown proof and shown bank statements and payout certificates and all of these sort of things, right? It becomes different, but you don't know from an Instagram reel or from someone in a Discord server, because the one thing that I know, as someone who runs a Discord server with 7,000 people in it, no one shares their losses. No one shares when they blow accounts. Very rarely do they show their blown accounts or their failures or the negative thoughts inside their head. And in fact, one of my mentorship students came to me and he was saying to me, bro, I've had to stay off the Discord because everyone's winning all day. And I said to him, bro, you realize they're not just winning all day, every day, right? They're just sending in the ones that they do win. And he kind of realized that, yeah, actually he was, mistaken on that one, or maybe he just hadn't thought about that. But this is the whole point. People aren't going to share their losses. People aren't going to share the difficult parts. And this is why you can't compare yourself to them, because you're comparing yourself only to their victories. You're comparing your victories to their victories, but you don't have a clue what their struggles have been. You weren't there when I was sat crying on my bathroom floor because I had failed 10 accounts this month and blown my entire salary and racked up 10K in credit card debt. You weren't there when I did that. And I promise you, if you were, you wouldn't want to be comparing your situation to mine. Right now, it's easy to compare my success to your success, but I wouldn't want to compare your failures against mine. And this is what brings me on to the next point, which is you don't know what work someone else has done. Because if someone is better than you, maybe they're better than you because they've put in 10 years more work, or maybe they've put 10 hours a week extra in, which over the long run, over a year, becomes 520 hours more. So obviously they're going to be better than you. But you're just comparing yourself to them and then thinking you've done the same work, or maybe they've even done less work than you because they make it look effortless. And that puts that negative feedback loop in your mind. It puts doubt and lack of confidence and just seeds of negative thoughts in your mind. And one of the last videos I made out here on this balcony, one of the last conversations me and you had, brother, was essentially that. If you do have seeds of doubt in your mind, or if you don't truly believe it's possible, then trading cannot become a reality for you. Because you're not going to put your entire effort in. You're not going to put your work in. You're not going to put the time in back testing. You're not going to put the time in on the charts. You're not going to stay disciplined because you think, what's the point? And so comparing your journey to others, or comparing your externality, or what people see of you and what you see of others, is seriously going to get you absolutely nowhere. And this again brings me to my next point, which is trading is so cyclical. And this is another reason why you can't compare yourself to others, why comparison is such a terrible thing in trading specifically. And I'll give you an example to explain this, an anecdote, let's say. I know a couple of ICT traders. I know, crazy. But I don't trade ICT. I trade the TRLS strategy. And so many times when I've been having the best month of my career and I've been saying how good price action is, these traders who trade ICT or another strategy are saying to me the exact same time, bro, the price action is the worst it's ever been. And then vice versa, when I'm saying bro, the last couple of weeks, price action and the markets have been terrible. They turn around to me and say, what do you mean? It's literally been the best month of trading I've ever had. And what I'm trying to get at here is essentially each trader has a different outlook on the market. Trading is such an individual sport where each trader has a different outlook. Each trader will have different results at different times. So comparing your results now to someone's results at the same time and not looking at the future or the past or whatever it may be is so ridiculous. And again, bringing back to the cyclical nature of trading, it is not a linear sort of journey, okay? Trading is not linear. I'll again give you another example. This $31,000 in payouts that I've gotten this month is great. But last month I only made $5,000 in the market. $5,000 in the market is great, don't get me wrong, but for my standards that's a relatively low month. And the reason is because last month I was setting up to become profitable. I was spending my entire time passing evals, getting my funding to $1 million, so that now this month, when I started trading at the beginning of November, I was ready to go. I was ready to get to the payout goal, build the buffer and start requesting payouts over and over. And we can take this analogy into your journey as a trader as a whole. Last month, I was setting up, and this month, I was executing and collecting money. Now, if you would have compared your journey to mine last month, maybe we hit similar profit targets, or maybe, yeah, I made a little bit of money, but nothing crazy. But this month, obviously, I blew everything out the water. And you can see how the difference there between comparing yourself to me last month and this month makes all the difference. So you don't really know what stage someone is at in their journey. Maybe they just hit a record, trade, and that was like the 5K trade that you saw, and then ended up tilting off of. So in reality, we need to understand that everyone is going to be at a different part in their trading career. You're going to be at a different part, I'm going to be at a different part. And comparing yourself to anyone else's journey is just such a stupid thing to do because you have no idea exactly where they are. So I guess going forward, how can you stop comparing and how can you move forward as an individual trader with your own trading mindset, with your own system, let's say? Well, first of all, you need accountability. You need accountability, you need someone to keep you on the straight and narrow, to stop you from comparing yourself to others, to stop you from going down these negative feedback loops, these cycles that end up causing you and costing you money. And if you do want someone to keep you accountable, luckily I have a solution for you. Now, I just opened up some slots to my mentorship program, and the main thing that I offer in that is that accountability, the opportunity to have access to me 24/7, to be able to WhatsApp message me. Loads of my students message me or call me just before they get into a trade and say, like, I'm FOMOing right now, or I'm struggling. And I stop them from taking the position, or I keep them accountable, or I give them the green light. And they say that that's the absolute game changer, and that's what's allowed me to get so many people funded. So if you do want access to that, the link is going to be in the description. But more about that later. Let's carry on with this video. One of the main things that you can also do as well is remove yourself from, I don't want to say social media, but certain sides of social media. And you know what I'm talking about when I say this. Trading is very, very broad as an industry. Now you have traders like me who post educational stuff, post stuff that's designed to give you value and designed to help you. But you also have traders out there that are designed to feed you FOMO. They're designed to give you the feeling you're not good enough so that you buy their course or you do this or do that. Now, I'm not out there here to do that, but some traders will just flex numbers day in, day out. I'm the best trader, I'm the best. And most of it is fake. So avoid flex talk or these traders who just flex numbers every single day. Because in reality, they're not doing the numbers they say. And I'll give you a good example of this. It's this very famous, well, not famous, but a very big social media trader right now, and he's just hit $1 million in profit, and he posts pretty much trade recaps every single day of him hitting decent trades. I know for a fact that he hasn't made a single dollar trading in the last year. It's all fake, not a single withdrawal statement. So obviously, if you're seeing this guy win over and over and over, you're going to get FOMO because you don't know it's not real. And this repeats and repeats and repeats. So try only to watch educational content on trading. Try to watch people who are helping you strategy breakdowns. But at a point, moving on to section number 2, at a point you need to stop that. There is only a certain level that YouTube is going to get you to. And what happens is you get to a point where you've developed a strategy, maybe you've got a nice little entry model, you've developed it and you've figured out something that starts to work for you, and then you think, oh, but let me just refine this a little bit more. So-and-so has dropped a video, Trendlines has dropped a video on his new liquidity entry model or his new wick entry model. Let me just add this to my trading, or let me add this to my trading, let me add this to my trading. And what then happens is you end up overcomplicating it. You end up overcomplicating your strategy when you don't necessarily need to. My trading strategy is one of the most simple out there, and it prints me so much money, it's ridiculous. And what I don't do is every single week, every single month, try and add a new concept. So that's another thing that you can do. But thirdly, the first two I just spoke to you about are sort of just short-term fixes. But the long-term fix is you need to fix your mindset. You need to understand that your journey is exactly that, it's yours. No one else is going to do this for you. No one else is going to be there the entire way. The only people who are going to be there is you. And so you need to understand that you need to take this journey at your own pace. You need to do exactly what works for you. You need to figure out a system and a strategy that works for you, a way to manage your psychology that works for you. And all of that comes when you stop comparing your journey to others. Stop thinking about what others are doing, stop thinking whether people are ahead of you or behind you, and I know it's only natural. As humans, we're competitive beings, I understand it. The most important thing to remember is you cannot let that impact your trading in any way. Because all it's going to do is affect you negatively. All it's going to do is set you back further than where you were originally. And I guarantee those people that you're comparing yourself to, the way they got there, me included, the way I got to where I am right now is because I stopped comparing myself to others. Because I stopped worrying about what other people were making. I stopped thinking about whether or not I'm ahead of this guy or behind this guy. Because all I was doing is putting myself even further back from the guy I wanted to catch up to. And what that meant is I was essentially hurting myself, and I essentially wasn't even going to catch up to them if I stopped comparing. And now that I stopped comparing, I'm way ahead than they could ever be, because I actually make money from the markets. So if you do want to beat them, and again, we all want to be the best, I want to be the best. If you do want to be the best, you need to put your blinders on like a horse, get in your own lane, and just sprint forward as quick as physically fucking possible. And I don't mean quick as in taking shortcuts, FOMOing, doing any of these sort of things. I just mean one step in front of the other, making forward progress, because that's the only way you're going to do it. And realistically, like I said, it's your journey. You're going to have your own problems. You're going to have your own wins. It can't all be doom and gloom, right? You're going to have your own wins. You're going to have things that happen to you that people are going to be thinking, oh my God, I wish I could be like that guy. And I think, in fact, people will already be comparing themselves to you. Even if you're not profitable, they'll be thinking, bro's at the break-even stage. Fucking hell, I wish I could be break-even. Or bro's 50K funded. Oh my days, I wish I could just be 50K funded. So again, it comes back to gratitude. It comes back to praising God and being grateful for where you are right now, because you are where you used to dream about being. Remember that. One day in your trading career, you would have dreamt about being where you are right now. And maybe, yes, you haven't completed your journey, you're not exactly where you want to be, but you're definitely a step closer and you're definitely where you used to be. And that brings me on to the next point, which is the only real metric you need to be tracking is you versus you. Have you made progress compared to yourself last year, compared to yourself 6 months ago? Because if the answer to that is yes, then great. That's all that matters. If you're a better person today, a better trader today than you were a week ago, 4 weeks ago, 6 months ago, then that's progress. And that's all that matters. And you should be grateful and you should be happy and you should praise God for it. And faith comes into it too. Ever since I brought God into my life, everything became a lot easier. Gratitude became easier. Fear, envy sort of just left. Comparison didn't really matter because it was just me, myself, my relationship with God. It's simple. It's you versus you at the end of the day, and I know that's a cliche statement, but it's so true. It's you versus where you were before, and if you think about it realistically, I guarantee you've made progress, and if you haven't, then fine, but you will do. And as long as you're further ahead than where you used to be, then I wouldn't be worried at all. Because realistically, that's who you have to be doing it for. You have to be doing it for yourself. You have to be doing it for something that motivates you. Because again, you don't know anyone else's situation. You don't know their motivations. You don't know anything. Someone could be a profitable trader. They could be completely miserable. They could have a terrible relationship with their parents, with their wife, with their children. But you don't see that. You just see the fact they've got a Lambo and they got to pay out this month. Sick. Alright? So be grateful for where you are right now. Be grateful for you having your own journey and having the independence and the ability to actually embark on this journey. Because you should be proud of yourself just for having the discipline and the dedication and the hunger to be taking these steps forward as a trader. But remember that trading is one of the most competitive industries on the planet. It's extremely difficult to become a profitable trader. And I don't say that to put you off, but I say that to motivate you to a level of excellence that you've never achieved before, because you have to hold yourself accountable. If you're going to stop comparing yourself to others, you're going to have to create your own standards. You're going to have to create your own standards of discipline, your own standards of skill, your own standards of hard work, your own standards of psychological control. And that's difficult. It's extremely hard to keep yourself accountable. Trust me, I've tried it. And all of my students that come to me and they're failing and they're struggling in the markets, they tried it. And they come to me because they can't do it. And that's completely understandable. 99.99999% of people can't. Especially in today's day and age where we've glorified poor habits, not going to the gym, eating whatever you want, hedonistic pleasures, all of these sort of things. But it's hard to control yourself. And the reality is you're most likely not going to be able to achieve it unless you have someone to hold yourself accountable. If you do want someone to hold yourself accountable, you can find someone. Find a buddy, find a friend, find your wife, whatever it may be. Or you can find someone like me who's done it before. Because realistically, at the end of the day, you're trying to invent the wheel when I've already built the car. I've already been through it all. Alright, I've made the wheel. I've made the rest of the car. I've become profitable. Long term, consistent. I've got the payouts. I've scaled up. I'm hitting record months every single month. And so what that means is you need to either go through that entire process by yourself or find someone like me who's done it before. Now, if you do want that, I've built a system that's going to enable you to actually just implement exactly what I've learned, specifically designed for you, tailored towards you. And it will allow you to become profitable in 90 days, and I guarantee that. I'll give you the strategy, the psychology, the discipline, and most importantly, the accountability. I'll give you access to me 24/7, access to a group of profitable traders, so that you don't have to worry about FOMO, because all you have to do now to solve your FOMO or to solve your overtrading is send one text message before you enter a trade. It's that simple. I have so many students that all they do now, if they get emotional, is they send one text message to me. SG, I'm struggling with this, or I feel like I want to overtrade. They get a call from me immediately. Calm down, take a step away from the charts. This trade isn't valid because of this. You've already taken a win today, you don't need to do this. Imagine how easy that would be. Imagine how easy it would be to come to the markets and know that you can't even possibly FOMO because you have someone right there stopping you from doing it. Because at the end of the day, how hard is it to hold yourself accountable versus someone else holding you accountable? When you're in school, some teacher is telling you what you can and can't do, and you have to follow it. And then you leave school, you go to uni, you get a job. Someone's telling you in the job, you need to do this today, take your lunch at this time, which is not the best thing, but guess what? You do it, you end up following it, you end up being productive. And then when you become a trader, no one's there to hold you accountable. And the differences between trading and a job is obviously if someone's holding you accountable as trading, you're still building your own thing. So imagine how nice that would be. Imagine how easy it would be to go ahead and actually not have to worry about the negative side of trading, and you can just focus on the positive side, the taking the wins, the strategy, the fun parts of trading, marking up the charts, waiting for a position, taking it, journaling the result. This shit is actually fun. The only part of trading that isn't fun is worrying about the accountability, worrying about comparing yourself to others, worrying about FOMOing, revenge trading, and I'm taking that all away from you. So if that sounds like something you need and you're serious and you're dedicated to become a profitable trader, then I've got the solution for you. You just click the link down in the description and apply. I've got 6 slots left. Do not apply if you're not serious, because I don't have time to work with people that aren't. I don't do this for the money. I don't do it for anything to do with that. I do it because I want to help traders out. And I've made so many traders profitable throughout the past year, 2 years, that is just what lights the candle inside me to continue making these videos, to continue trading, to continue doing all of these things. I love it. But I'm not working with people that are going to waste time or that aren't going to put 100% of their effort into it. I turn so many people away from the program that are ready to join because they're not serious, and I don't want that. I want to be that guy who can say, yeah, 70% of my traders become profitable, because that's actually what it is, 70%. So if you do want to join the program, click the link down below, apply, and if you're good enough, if you're dedicated enough, and if I like you enough, you'll be accepted. But either way, brother, stop comparing yourself to others. Stop thinking about others, stop thinking about where you are in your journey compared to other people, because the only thing it's going to do to you is harm you. It's going to stop you from getting to where you want to be. It's going to stop you from becoming profitable, achieving your dream, quitting that 9-to-5 finally that you've been stuck in. Focus on your own lane. Trade because you want to trade. Trade because you have certain dreams. Make changes to your trading based off what you think is best, what your data tells you is best, what works best for your mindset, your psychology. And I promise you, if you do that, you will be making progress. But remember, trading is extremely difficult. Extremely, extremely difficult. So you have to be at the top of your game. You have to be at the top of your game, and you have to be willing to put in the work. And if you are, then great. If not, then I can help you. I can hold you accountable. I can do every single thing that you need other than pressing that trading execution button. So if you need the help, and there's no shame, there's actually honor in understanding that you need help. Because down the line in 2-3 years anyway, you're probably going to come to me and say, you need help either way. So click that link in the description. And brother, either way, you have got this. You can do it, put in the work. It's going to be difficult. I'm not here to sugarcoat it for you, but it's possible. I'm living proof that it's possible. So don't give up, stay in your own lane, focus on your journey. Be grateful to God for what He's already given you. Be grateful that He's allowed you to make progress from where you were last year. And if you do that, you can make progress. And you can make trading a career. Now I need to get some sleep because it's super late. Markets are open tomorrow. Go kill it. Go implement exactly what I've just told you in this video. And I'll see you in the next one.